montage, and I discovered X-rays. Back in when I grew up, I mean, I didn't have a ton going for me. I got kicked out of a school. It was quite unfortunate. I got kicked out of Utrecht Technical School for an accident that honestly it wasn't even my fault. It was one of my buddy's faults. But I finally had the fortune of getting accepted into Würzburg University, which is where I got my education, and I'm very grateful for that. And I was able to focus on the light phenomena when I was there. And these were essentially electrical discharges in these currents called Crookes tubes, which there were multiple different scientists working on at the time. But it was just these glass bulbs with both positive and negative electrodes, which displayed a bright glow when high voltages passed through it. Believe it or not, discovering the X-rays was a complete accident. I was not even trying to do that, wasn't going for it. I was just doing some typical cathode ray experiments, just trying to understand some of their properties, like how far they could travel, if they would deflect off of certain things. And then just while I was doing it one day, a sheet of paper about 10 feet behind me suddenly started glowing up, and I didn't really know what to think about that. It was outside the normal range of cathode rays, and I eventually named them the X-ray, X standing for unknown. My discovery took place in just my typical little cozy laboratory at the University of Würzburg. If you don't know where that is in Bavaria, Germany. Honestly, 1985, not a ton happened in that year other than my discovery of the X-rays, obviously. There were a couple of wars. There was both the Cuban War of Independence, and then there was also the first Sino-Japanese War, I think is how you call it. Those are both in 1985. I was very grateful to not be a part of either one of those. And then there were a couple American accomplishments. I think the very first U.S. Open happened, and then also the first race of an automobile. So when I was doing my experiments on cathode rays, I was a one-man show. I didn't like other people to be involved. I've always enjoyed just working on things by myself. So yeah, it was just me in my laboratory doing the cathode ray experiments. And I didn't tell anyone about my research or my results back when I first discovered them. I didn't want any false information to be leaked. The only person I told was actually my wife, because you tell your wife everything. I couldn't afford to not tell her, and I actually used her hand as my first test subject for the X-ray, just to have proof that X-rays exist and work. As far as my role in the project, I had the only role in the project because I was the only one working on it. Like I said in the last question, I've always been a one-man kind of show. I don't like working in a team. And yeah, I grew up that way and carried that with me through my career and my studies and projects. I ran all of my experience on my own, and I did my own observations, didn't have anyone writing them down for me. And I verified that the X-rays exist through multiple experiments for the first 2 months before I even published the fact that they exist. Yeah, so my discovery had a much bigger impact on physicians and physicists, a lot more than I thought it ever would. Just a few months, weeks after I had my discovery, other physicists started doing research in multiple different directions, like the atomic and particle physics directions. And then this also led to radiation therapy, which has been used all the time and is huge in the medical field. Because now doctors and physicians can see inside of a human's body, a living human, without even having to cut into them, which is monumental. So I've always believed that nothing happens by chance, and so I have a strong feeling that people like J.J. Thomson or Philip Lenard possibly ran into the same discovery that I made, but they never fully understood what it was or whether to pursue it or not. So when that sheet of paper blew up behind me, I knew that was like, I've never seen that before, and I need to pursue that. And I honestly think that's probably the only reason why I discovered it before anyone else did, is because like it stuck out to me, and I immediately went for it.